Thanks for watching this week's Newswire, news for Nebraska farmers and ranchers. I'm Cassie Hobel-Heinrich, Communication Coordinator for Nebraska Farm Bureau. This week we have several approaching deadlines to tell you about, but first we want to bring your attention to a proposed change in how you will obtain antibiotics for your livestock. In just a few short years, over-the-counter antibiotics could become a thing of the past. That is, if the Food and Drug Administration's latest proposal takes hold. The FDA's Center for Veterinary Medicine published a guidance in September that proposes a ban on over-the-counter sales for more than 100 animal drugs.
Essentially what that means is that in order for a livestock producer to purchase antibiotics, they will need injectable antibiotics. They will need a veterinarian prescription in order to do that. So they're going to remove the over-the-counter status for a wide range of common livestock antibiotics.
This is a follow-up to the Veterinary Feed Directive, an effort to bring antibiotics that are used in both human medicine and given to livestock under the oversight of a licensed vet. If you have a good relationship with your vet, this may not have a big impact on you, but Farm Bureau is concerned for areas that are underserved.
What happens in areas where a veterinarian is 50, 60, 80, 100 miles away and they're not as accessible to get that written prescription? What does that mean for those types of folks? A lot of these injectable antibiotics can be used in more emergency type situations where a producer could simply run down to any number of farm supply stores. That may not be an option for them moving forward because some of those folks may not want to work with prescription products. And so what does that mean for availability? What does that mean then if a producer can't obtain those products as easily? What does that mean eventually for animal health?
The comment period for the FDA's proposal is open until December 24th. The Farm Bureau wants to hear from you.
Hopefully we'll have a couple of opportunities to talk through this with members, get their input and what they'd like to see. Do they think this is workable? Do they not? What are some ways that we can make this more workable if this is something that absolutely is going to happen? So these are things we want producers to think about. These are some things that we're looking for input on.
The FDA expects the guidance to become official by the end of next year and then take 2 years to implement. The application deadline for the Nebraska Department of Agriculture's NextGen program is quickly approaching. This is the program that utilizes the Beginning Farmer Tax Credit Act to help new producers get a head start in farming and ranching, while giving back to the farmers and ranchers who own the agricultural assets. Carla Baum with the Department of Agriculture was in to explain what producers need to know heading into the November 1st deadline.
The purpose of the program is to help a beginning farmer. And so many of our older farmers said, you know, somebody helped me get started in the beginning. And so this is my opportunity to give back. It also provides that tax credit as an incentive or kind of a little bonus for helping that beginning farmer. There are some qualifications. For the asset owner, all they really need to do is own the asset, and the asset has to be a Nebraska asset. Okay? The beginning farmer does have some eligibility requirements. They must be a Nebraska resident. They need to have farmed less than 10 out of the last 15 years. They have to have a family net worth below $200,000. Have some experience or education in farming and ranching. We want it to be their intent to farm or ranch full time, but we understand that it could take years to get to that point. They also must have completed an approved finance management course.
More information on this program and the application can be found on the Department of Ag's website at nextgen.nebraska.gov. A few more deadlines to tell you about. Nebraska Farm Bureau is accepting applications for the next class of our Leadership Academy. If you or someone you know is a Farm Bureau member and involved in production agriculture or agribusiness and wants to be an exceptional leader in their county, community, and state, apply online at nefb.org. under the Get Involved tab. The deadline is November 4th. And the power of Farm Bureau lies in its member-driven policy development process, and policy development season is underway. NEFB's Policy Forum is coming up on November 21st, but County Farm Bureau policy resolutions are due to the NEFB home office by November 8th. You can email those to Whitney Tiedemann at whitneyt@nefb.org. That's all we have for you this week on Newswire. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, visit nefb.org for the latest updates. See you next time.